Flosstube, welcome back to my channel. It is Sunday the 17th of January 2021, I think. You know when you spend too much time at home and you forget the date? You don't need to be writing it every day, do you? So this is Flosstube number 49. I can't believe I nearly done 50 Flosstubes. It's unreal. But anyway, this week has been exhausting, if I'm honest, exhausting. The school finally got back to me on Wednesday. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday, saying, okay, here's all of Ellie's login details. No, it wasn't Tuesday, it was Wednesday. Because I did my Flosstube on Tuesday and I hadn't heard anything by then, so it was Wednesday. This is Ellie's login details. She's free to go on the Microsoft Teams meetings now for her lessons. I was excited just because she needed to get back into things and get her brain going. She was a little upset, nervous, fear of the unknown though, isn't it, going on a Teams meeting with a bunch of other kids that you don't know, the teachers you don't know. So we had a few tears and I said I would sit with her for the first day. I wasn't just going to leave her on her own and let her get on with it. You know, she's going to be nervous and not know what she's doing. So I said I'd sit with her. So I did all Wednesday. We had a couple of issues with one of the teachers, but that was more, they weren't aware that Ellie hasn't been to secondary school at all yet. She should have gone in September, but never did. So it was bound to happen. So I emailed the pastoral, whatever it is, and they got back to me and, you know, it's all sorted now. So, but yeah, she's settled in. I think by Friday she was on her own, just cracking on with what she needed to do, and she just sat there and did the work. Bless her, she's so good. She doesn't like to talk to people. That's her problem, especially if it's someone she doesn't know. If it's someone she knows, she's okay, but she doesn't. She's a bit like me, really. I still yet have to take down my Christmas decorations as well. It's kind of like a bit, we've come way past the point of should have taken them down. So that's probably what I'm going to spend my afternoon doing, because it's like, you know, and all my lights are still around the edges of the ceiling and the ceiling decoration. Yeah, you know, I've moved you. All the decorations you would normally put up, they're still up. So I need to sort that out. But anyway, back to my stitching. Considering I've had to sit with Ellie for like 2-3 days, I did get quite a lot done. I've touched 5 projects. Some I've only done a couple of 100 stitches, but that was more, it was kind of in between sitting with Ellie when Ellie was then like on her lunch break, so to speak. I'd sit with a bit of stitching. So I managed to get my hands on 5 anyway. Not too much progress, but you know, not too bad considering. Okay, so first things first. I take part in a group on Facebook. I think it's called Free Cross Stitch Challenge, something like that. And they give you a sheet every month, and for every 100 stitches you colour one in. And as you can see, I have completed all, which makes 2,800 stitches, and we're only on the 17th, so it'll slow a bit now, what with Ellie being on her Teams meetings and stuff, just because she needs that help. We've been enjoying, actually. She's down for Spanish for year 7, and they suggested an app called Duolingo. So she installed it, and we both had we had quite the laugh actually the other night, sitting there going through this app, and it kind of plays games with you, and it was so much fun. Me and Ellie both enjoyed it. Anyway, back to cross stitch. The other group, which is Full Coverage Fanatics, which I take part in, have started in January a year-long stitch round Iceland. I've shown you this before, and on the sheet you get to pick easy, hard or crazy. I wasn't about to do crazy because that's like 2,400 stitches just for one, and then 5,000. I went for hard instead, so I've marked the row, and I've already completed the first 3. which I think was something like 2,960, which well covered that. So that's going well. That's a year-long one, so I'm already well on the way for that. Let's go through what I touched. The first one I touched, I'm going to take it out of the wallet just because it glares terribly. And the light's never very good around here in winter. The first one I touched was my Once Upon a Fairy Tale. And I am still over here. You can just see this archway in the roof of this tent. That is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artwork is by Amy Stewart. And that beginning of this week had its first birthday. Can't believe it's been a year since I started stitching that thing. You'd think I'd be further, wouldn't you? But apparently not. Anyway, this is one of the ones that I haven't done too much on, just because it's so big to get out and put away and see into Ellie at the same time. I didn't want something sitting on my lap that I constantly have to put down and pick back up. Anyway, Once Upon a Fairy Tale. I got 357 stitches done on this week. Sorry, I'm trying. And you can just make out this face. It's like a stone face on top of this stone archway. So yeah, I've been filling in. And I've been filling in a lot more of the dark greens, because it's like very dark greens and greens and black going through here and just under the archway. So I plan to get this out a bit more this week, because I really, really want to make some decent progress and at least get the first row finished. So I'm not far off. I just need to finish those few pages I'm on, and then I think there's another 3 pages that finishes the row. I can do that this year. I'm taking part anyway in Full Coverage Fanatics 21,000 Stitches in 2021. And that's the piece I'm using for it. Now I did a little calculation how many I'd need to do each month. If I want to complete 21,000 stitches on that, I've worked it out. I need to do 1,750 stitches a month. So I'm going to keep an eye on that now. I can't remember how many I've already done. I have no idea. I think I'm close to that. I should have worked it out and I didn't, but oh well. I'm sure I'll do it anyway. Okay, we won't do that one next. Another one that I haven't really touched much ever. This started out as being Ellie's, but she didn't like the fabric, so I said I'd finish it on the 26, 27 count, something like that. And that is the Maui Princess, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs and artwork by Hannah Disney. And this is a freebie on Heaven and Earth Designs website at the minute, which is why we got it. Now this week she's had 663 stitches, which is pretty good. And all I have done, literally, sorry, it's hard when you've got a big piece, isn't it? Let's fold it again, because you only need to see the blue anyway, because that's all I've done. It all went into this blue area up here, coming down, and then I went back up and carried on moving across. So I think this section right here above my finger is what Ellie managed to do. I think I did this section here as well. 663 stitches worth. But I'm loving it. It's a lovely picture. So she's had some good work this week. I want to get her out again as well, because she will also go towards my free cross stitch challenge groups quick go board thing. Yeah, let's put that in there. So that's that one. The next one, I'll do this one because this one didn't get much work either. I got it out and I worked on it, but it didn't get a great deal. And it is this one. I took the first one out of the packet and then I didn't bother, honestly. Less glare. Is the Munsters by Tilton Crafts. And although I do apologise. If you can hear my kids, they are tidying the bedroom. It's supposed to be. It's another one I haven't touched much, but when I get it out, I kind of just want to keep going. And it was like that last night. I think it was about 10 o'clock, and I thought, you know what, I better put it down. I just never get up the stairs otherwise. So yeah. So this one this week has had 218 stitches. Again, not a lot, but it has been filling in this 3799 right here, and that spreads right across here, so I'm gonna have to draw myself a few more grid lines before I carry on. But I enjoyed stitching that just while I was watching a movie. It's not one of those you could just like keep stitching through movies, because it does get a bit thingy, but you have to use your brain. You can't just sit and mindlessly stitch on it. But that patch right there was just so easy, so get out. Does anyone else have a fight to get their projects back in their bags? Just me? Okay. Anyway, the next thing I worked on. This one does get quite a bit of love from me. But not for the right reasons, just because I want to get the black out the way. And it's this one, Avengers Endgame by Tilton Crafts. And I have, no, it's this side. I have to think, 'cause it's back to front. Been working all this black. I got so far up, I think, about here. And then I started up here to drop it down to meet it. And this one's for Riley, who loves Avengers. So this got 607 stitches this week. If I hold it here, you can see, because I've been like slowly working my way up, there's just like a tiny little, you can see the square, it just goes diagonal straight up into here. So there's not much left to do down there. So I went back up here, and I've started to drop down to meet up with it, just to make sure it kind of meets. Can't quite get it in camera. I can if I lean it back. There you go. So that's how tall it's going to be, and it's wider than it is tall. Do you know what? I've never I'm hopeless. I never tell you what fabric they're on. This is on 18 count 2/1 full cross, and I'm not loving the 18 count. I think I've just found my sweet spot, which is 25. I don't mind 25. 22 I can deal with as well. But from going from my Once Upon a Fairy Tale, which is on 25, and my Felicia that's on 25, and Kelly's that's on 25, going back and getting this out is, yeah. So when it's done, I don't think I'll ever do a cross stitch on 18 again. But before all this, I didn't know about other AIDs and sizes. I knew about 14, 16 and 18. I didn't know it went any bigger than that. So now that I've experienced, I like my 25 count. Anyway, the last thing I worked on, and this has had so much love this week, it is, I think you know what I'm going to say before I say it, Kelly's Amazing Animal Kingdom. It's a mini, again charted by Heaven and Earth Designs and artwork by Amy Stewart. And I just literally picked up the black thread yesterday and the day before, I think, and I just kind of worked my way across. So I've got this tail done, and I've just started to do the black in these pandas. You can see they're pandas, can't you? Nope, it doesn't want to focus. Nope, still doesn't. Oh well. I'm not going to fight with it. This one is on 25 count. 1/1 full cross, and you all know it's for Kelly. She chose it. I said I'd stitch it, and boom. you can see all the black I've done. And like I said, the whale's tail is right there. And then I think this is like where the pandas are, somewhere here. And I've done 1,498 stitches in the last week. This is another one that I am using for a challenge, which is the Stitch Around Iceland challenge. So at the end of it, I would have done something like 72,000 some odd stitches. So yet again, I did a bit of maths. How much would I need to stitch every week to complete that by December 31st this year? I first worked out daily, 205 stitches a day, which I could probably do like in a morning when I've got a bit of time to myself. But I worked out weekly instead, just in case, because I can't always get it out in the morning. And I'd need 1,435 stitches a week. Last week, I did 1,893, so that more than covered it. And I've also covered it again this week with the 1,498, because I only needed 1,435. So we're on target to finish this year. And if I just, hopefully you can see, nope, the edge where it's going to come to. Yep, that last line there, that's the edge. And it's completely gridded, so you know how big it's going to be. So 72,000 stitches when it's completed. Anyway, that challenge has really spurred me on, to be honest. So it's like every spare chance I get, I'm on it. My other projects have suffered a bit for it, but I have been getting them out. It's just not for very long, but that's okay. She's looking forward to having it, and I'm looking forward to giving it to her, to be honest. It'll look great on her wall. Right, as for plans for this week, I have got, as I write it down on my monthly challenge thing that I did, I've got to finish the Full Coverage Fanatics bookshelf challenge. Spit my words out. The Pride and the Prejudice, which I'm using the Once Upon a Fairy Tale, needs 1,880 stitches. I'm not sure how many I've done already. 700. I've done over 1,000, so I'm on the way to finishing that. I've done about 1,500 actually, so I'm very, very close to that one. Okay, so then I've also got to get out the Merry Princess, and I need 2,560 stitches on here. How many have I done already? Just 663, so I've still got a way to go on that one. And then the last one, Little Women, I need 4,490 stitches, and I was using Riley's Avengers one for that. That's well on the way, I do believe, because all that black. I use the black, I think, just to kind of get through it, because it's easy. It's easy stitching. That's it for the stitching. The only thing I did go and do this week, I don't think I showed you last week. If I did, I apologise. I've slept since then. If I haven't, on Cal's Crafts here on YouTube, her channel, she did a live a couple of weekends ago, and they were talking about a sale that's going on, Cunning Cross Stitch, I think it's cunningcrossstitch.blogspot.com, and this is a Animal Crossing sale. This is the first piece, which is all your border to put all your different pieces in, and I think the pieces come out on the 15th of the month, of every month. So the first one should be out already, I think. So I have been and done all that. I have the fabric. I'm just going to use, this is a piece of 25 count. It was spare off my Munsters piece, and it's big enough for that. So I'm going to use that one. I'm just in the process now of sorting out the threads. I've been through my stash and I only have 4 so far. So I've got to get those sorted in the next week. And then the Disney cross stitch, it has a name. It escapes me and I've left it over there. And to get it, I'd have to push you guys out the way, and I don't want to do that. My fabric's on the way. I have ordered from a lady on Facebook. Her group is Zoe's Cross Stitch Supplies. She's in the UK. And if it comes and it's perfect, I will be ordering off her again, because a piece that should have cost me anywhere between £35 and £40, she charged me £25 without delivery. It's £3. I think it was £3 delivery, something like that. So it's a lot cheaper than what it would have cost me if I'd have gone to like Lakeside Needlecraft or Lovecrafts or one of the others. It is a lot cheaper. So it wasn't the fabric I really wanted, because it's the same as the Once Upon a Fairy Tale, which is the 25 count easy guide, easy grid, whatever that is. But I did, because I don't like the grids on that, I had a thought that maybe if I wash the fabric first, it'll wash off those grid lines and I can grid it myself then. That could work, couldn't it? I might do that, because I don't like them grid lines on Once Upon a Fairy Tale at all. It gets confusing, because the grid line, you have to include it on 2 sides to make the 10, but you don't include the other 2. I suppose you get used to it when you're stitching on it, but I'd rather not, so I'll probably wash it before I use it. But that should be here. I'm hoping Monday or Tuesday. I have enough threads to start it. Not to complete it, but I have enough to start it. I ordered, there's a green border that goes around the whole image. I've ordered all the green threads to go around the border, and then some to cover like just the start of the inside, because I think I'm going to do the green border first. And I had a suggestion from one of my subscribers, Brianna. She watches someone else on Flosstube, and it's a mother-daughter combo, and I think it's Once Upon a Fairy Tale, they stitch on it together. You've got the daughter stitches one side, the mother stitches the other, and they're going to work their way in to meet each other in the middle. And Brianna suggested, being as Ellie's kind of wavered on her stitching, suggesting to Ellie that we both stitch on the same piece. So I'll work one side, she'll work the other, and we'll work our way in. So I suggested it to Ellie. Her little face lit up like a bonfire, I tell you. I think she's well up for it. I think she thought I wouldn't be quite so allowing, because I don't like generally them touching my cross stitch things, even if they're only looking at it. But yeah, I did suggest it, and she seems well. So we'll see when the fabric comes if she will actually pick it up and stitch with me. She'll just have to have her pattern keeper for her side, and I'll have my pattern keeper for my side. We'll just stitch and meet in the middle. We'll see how long it lasts. Anyway, I haven't worked on anything else this week. I did 1 row on my third, I don't know what to call it because it's not a square, tile. There you go. On the third tile for the blanket of the Looney Tunes. 1 row. Shocking. But I think that's just because I've had my head in my numbers for Kelly's cross stitch and my Once Upon a Fairy Tale. I've been kind of monitoring how well I'm doing each week, being as I worked out the monthly thingies, and I sat on that most of yesterday on Kelly's just to make sure I made the 1435. So yeah, hopefully this week I will get it out, sorry, and bomb out the next tile. That's not the word I used last time, but it escapes me. Anyway, thank you guys for sticking through that. Thank you for watching. As always, thank you for subscribing and your comments. I love reading through your comments. Sometimes you guys cheer me on so well, and it's lovely. I love it. It kind of helps your motivation a little bit, even if you've got a bit but you're still wavering. So thank you so much to you guys. That's it. I hope you've had an amazing weekend. I hope you have a great week next week. Just stay safe. Wash your hands, you know, all the usual business. Take care, and I will see you, if not Tuesday for the whip and chat, it'll be next Sunday for next week's Flosstube. So take care, guys. Bye.